If you're looking for a secure haven within the literary world, you found the perfect organization. Let's make magic together. Our space is specifically designed for African American authors who are passionate about their writings of films and books. It's a platform to stay informed about industry developments. And on Patreon, we'll share exclusive content, valuable resources, and engaging discussions and masterclasses on various subjects, ranging from film and publishing industry trends to wellness and business tips. So if you're ready to dive into this exciting community, become a member now. Welcome to our literary haven where creativity knows no bounds. Let's make magic together.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Write, Market, Publish in 4 months or less. My name is Phoenix Williams. I'm an award-nominated best-selling author, literary consultant, ghostwriter, screenwriter, and my last several bestsellers were written, marketed, and published in less than a month. So I'm extremely qualified to give you guys this course today. Our class format is going to be pretty simple. I'm going to break down months 1 through 4, give you a few things you should know, and then have a way for you to connect with us. So month 1 is what I like to call my planning month. It is during this time that the foundation is laid to make sure that everything runs smoothly. We're going to be doing the outline in social media in month 1. So the outline is the most important portion of what you're going to learn today, okay? If your outline sucks, frankly, nothing else will work, okay? You need to make sure that you are including a lot of detail in your outline, so when you sit down to write, everything flows better. Your outline should include scene breakdowns, character arcs, plot and subplot, and locations. With the scene breakdown, you want to have the details as follows. You want to have the date, the time of day, location, who is in the scene, what part of the plot does this fall under, whether it's stasis, resolution, climax, turning point, etc., and what is happening in the scene. You want to be as detailed as possible. I like to make myself bullet points for this portion, so I'll say, Susie is at work, Susie gets fired, Susie cries all the way home, Susie gets drunk, Susie passes out. That's what's happening in the scene. Okay, so when I go back to write it, I know those are the points I have to hit in that particular scene for that chapter. Character arc. So we want to start by detailing the beginning personality of this particular character, the ending personality, past events that shape them, their age and birthday, favorite things, and pictures of the character. You want to be as detailed as possible. I'm going to keep saying that. You want to be as detailed as possible because you want to make them feel real to you. If they feel real to you, they will feel real to the reader. So don't just say beginning personality, angry, ending, happy. No. Why were they angry? Let's give some anger is a secondary emotion. So let's figure out what their real personality is, okay? Past events that shape them into who they are, where they grew up, how they grew up. Were they in a religious household? Were they, in a single parent household? Did they have a pet growing up? Where did they go to school? Have they ever been in a relationship? Have they ever gone to jail? These are the things you want to include in that section. All right, and then favorite things, you want to have, their favorite color, favorite genre of music, favorite food, all those types of things. And definitely include pictures of the character. Now, when it comes to plot and subplot, we definitely want to take our scenes and place them where they need to go in the plot structure. We should all know when you start writing, I think the first thing people mostly look up is how to write a book, and you find the plot structure. But if you do not know what that is, I'm going to briefly go through that. So it's stasis hook, call to action, turning point, journey, rising action, turning point 2, climax, and then resolution. That's the way most stories are written, okay? When it comes to locations, again, you need to be as detailed as possible. Where is everything located in relation to other locations? So with Susie's house, how far is that from her job? And how far is her job from her favorite restaurant? And how far is that from her home? We need to have those types of things written down so we are all on the same page there. You also want to figure out if it's a new world or existing world. If it's a new world, it's the science of our world. Is that still part of your new world? Okay, like is the grass still green? Do we all still breathe oxygen? Is the sky still blue? Is water super duper important there? If you are doing our existing world, is it a true town like you're going to have it in Chicago or you're going to have it in Houston? Or are you making up a new town in our existing world? If it's a new town, where is that in relation to the major cities that are in our existing world? Okay. These things need to be thought out. You want to include pictures. Now, when I say locations, I truly mean every single named location in your book, even if it's going to be just them going to the coffee shop one time. What does that coffee shop look like? And the reason why you want to be detailed is because 9 times out of 10, for most authors, your first book ends up being a series. And so when we are going back to that coffee shop in book 3, you don't want to have to go back to book 1 and read through it to figure out how you described it in book 1. It's easier just to have it on the outline. So when I'm doing a house, right, I'll put pictures in for the outside of the house, from the front, the backyard, the living room, the kitchen, the master bedroom, master bathroom, guest bedroom, guest bathroom. Then I will write down all the special features of this house. Is it in a cul-de-sac? Is it on a dead-end street? Is it a condo? If it's a condo, how many units are in this condo building? Is there a private entry? Is there an underground garage? Are there fireplaces, a swimming pool, a home office? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? How many stories is this home? Those are all the things I'm going to write down because it needs to be consistent throughout the book. You do not want to start writing the book in chapter 1, Susie's in a condo, but somehow in chapter 16, she's living in a house, okay? And you never explain how she got to that house. So you want to make sure that you are definitely breaking all these things down. Your social media plan. So during this time, you need to increase your presence online. Here are examples of a few things that you can do to do that. You can partner with other authors to promote your book. You can post a book announcement. You can start participating in the Twitter writing events. But no matter what you do, you need to be posting at least 3 times a day on 3 different platforms about your brand. Notice I said brand and not book because your brand is not your book. You are the brand. The book is the product. For month 2, we are going to be doing the first draft, release prep, social media, and marketing plan. So during this time, unless you have a foolproof system in place, like myself, you need to be writing your first draft during the 2nd month. Okay. Do not wait till month 4 to start writing your book if you've never had to write a book in less than a month. So how do we write a book in a month's time? Well, people do this all the time during NaNoWriMo, so it's really not that different. If you participated in that particular writing event, you want to break it down to small chunks, right? So I always start by saying I'm going to write a 35,000 word book minimum. It ends up usually being a lot more than that, but I'll start by doing 15,000 words the week 1, 15,000 week 2. Week 3, I take a break and read through my book and make any edits that I need to make. And then week 4, I'll finish it out with 5,000 words and do a rewrite. If you are writing more words than 35,000, you're going to break it down the exact same way. So if I'm writing a 60,000 word book, it's going to be 20, 20, read through 20. And that's how those things will go. All right. So release prep. In between all this writing you're doing, you have to start prepping. We need a cover, we need copyright and ISBNs, and we need pre-order links. When it comes to covers, you have 2 options. You can do a custom cover or you can do a pre-made cover. With a custom cover, it's going to be more expensive. It's also going to take a little more time. All right. So when you are reaching out to your cover designer, you want to make sure that you are giving them all the info that they need. So when I first started working with my designer, Chanel, what I started doing was going on Amazon to the genre that I was releasing my book in and looking at all the covers for the top 10 books in that genre. And I would send her screenshots of what I liked. Okay. And I would say, oh, I like the overlay on this one. I like the font on that one. I like the trim on this one, all that kind of stuff, right? Then I would send her the color scheme I wanted for the books, the exact title, my author name. I would send her the inspiration character photos for the main characters and then the location photos, okay? And she will put something together and give me some concepts. If you're using a pre-made cover, it's going to be a lot cheaper and a lot quicker because the only thing you can change is the title, tagline, and author. Please make sure you remember those are the only 3 things you can change. Because I see people look at pre-made covers all the time and say, oh, I like that, but can we change the dragon to a phoenix? Well, no, because now it's a custom cover and you're going to pay a custom price. When it comes to pricing, there is no set pricing across the board. Everybody's different, but I've seen custom made covers go as little as $250 and go as high as $900. For pre-mades, I've seen covers go as little as $25 and go up as high as $500. It really just depends. So if your book is pretty much done during this time and you know you're not going to make a lot of changes, then you can go ahead and apply for your copyright. You're also going to need to get your ISBN for ebook and print. Now, if you don't want to pay for those, that's perfectly fine. Amazon will give you an ASIN, which is free for ebooks. And then if you use their print service, they will give you an ISBN. So let's talk pre-order links. For some people, this is a controversial topic. For me, not so much. I always use pre-order links, okay? Pre-order links work for me. It has really increased my readership and increased my revenue. For others who've had bad experiences, all for one reason. Amazon only has one rule when it comes to pre-order links, and that is to make sure that all of your stuff is uploaded by a certain date. They give you a whole date and time in which you need to have all your stuff uploaded. They give you a countdown banner. They give you emails, all that. And still people miss that deadline. And then Amazon returns all the pre-order sales that you had on that book. And then they tell you that you can't do a pre-order link for a certain amount of time, okay? So you want to make sure that you are prepared if you're going to do a pre-order link, okay? It's all about time management. So if you are going to do a pre-order link, which for the purposes of this class, we're going to assume you are, then you need to have a cover, synopsis, your genres and keywords ready. Well, you'll say, oh, Phoenix, I don't have my cover yet. Well, that's perfectly fine. You do not need to have your actual cover right now. What you can go ahead and do is make a temporary cover on Canva. And I usually put on there the title of the book, and then I'll put real cover coming soon, and I'll post that up. Same thing for the synopsis. Oh, I don't have my synopsis yet. That's perfectly fine. In the synopsis portion on the upload page, I usually put TBD, full synopsis coming soon. And then I'll put in my genres and keywords. So social media, I did an entire class on how to do social media for book releases. So I'm not going to go over all of this again, but I will do a quick recap. You need to have a cover reveal, release a few promotional graphics, have an online release day event, participate in the online writing events, and then create conversation around the topic of your book. You do not want to be out here, buy my book, oh my gosh, please buy my book, please, because you sound like a used car salesman and no one wants to be, pitched to over and over again. So creating conversation around the topic of your book lets people get to know who you are, how your mind works, and then when your book comes out, they'll say, you know what, let me give her a try because I like what she's been saying this entire time. For your marketing plan, the first thing we need to do is figure out the marketing budget. And when you figure out that budget, vow to yourself that you're going to stick to it. I cannot tell you how many times I've had people with a marketing budget of $100 end up spending $600 on putting a book out, and then they're sitting here crying. It is very easy to spend so much money when it comes to putting out the book, when it comes to marketing, because it seems like a little bit of money at a time, but it all adds up. You do $5 here, 20 there, 50 there. Next thing you know, you're $600-700 in. You want to start pitching to media outlets, okay? Try to get those interviews. Get yourself a media kit and start pitching yourself. Gather a list of promoters that you can use for the launch. Promoters are extremely important to the book industry. You want to make sure you have people out there talking about your books. The best advice I can give you when it comes to promoters is to find a promoter that has a newsletter. If you can find one that has a newsletter, then you're probably going to be safe. I cannot give you any advice on how to figure out which ones are a scam or not. It's all trial and error, but I would look at their social media engagement. I would see how big their newsletter list is, and I would actually sign up for their newsletter before I even went to give them any of my money. I would sign up for their newsletter and see, okay, how often are these newsletters coming out? What do they look like? Do they look engaging or not? Complete your advertising materials. Okay, so you want to have your graphics together for your ads, along with the language and the keywords you will be using. Month 3. So month 3 is all about fine-tuning the book. So we're going to do some editing, get some beta readers, do my final edits, social media, and marketing plan. When it comes to editing, okay, it is imperative that you have an editor that can have turned this whole project around in about 3 weeks. Okay. Once the book is edited, then you can send it off to the typesetter, or you can typeset it yourself. Okay. But you've never typesetted a book and you have no clue what it's supposed to look like, I would recommend sending it off to a typesetter. For ebooks, the typesetting should not take any more than a week, really. For print books, it's going to be longer, but that's okay. Most people that I know in the book industry do not release their print book at the same exact time they put out their ebook. For me, I will wait, 30 days afterwards. Sometimes we get 1 to 2 years. It just depends on when I feel like putting out that print book, okay? There are some of my books that are out that I've never done a print version for. And sometimes I'll do a special run on those print versions of that book and do a contest with it and all that kind of stuff. But print books are really for you to sell at book events. You can have them out there to the public, but I wouldn't stress a lot if you don't have the print book ready when it's time to come out for the ebook, because the majority of people who are going to be asking you for a print version are your friends and family, and they're really asking you to give them one, not so they can go ahead and buy it. A pro tip, if you edit and you use standard formatting as you write, it'll make the process easier for the editor and the typesetter. Beta readers are super duper important. Okay, so you want to make sure your beta readers are people in the community, authors, industry professionals, those types, right? Do not send it to your mom, to your best friend, to your cousin, because guess what? They love you, so they'll lie to you and they'll tell you, the book's great, I loved it. No, they love you. Because if you send that book to me, everything they said they loved about this book, I'm probably going to tear it to shreds and tell you to do better, okay? You want brutal feedback from your beta readers. Why? Because I'd rather you hear it from a beta reader than to see it in your reviews. So how do you get the good feedback from beta readers? Well, you want to ask them questions. So I usually send them a form with a series of questions that you see below, and I'll add "and why" next to it. So does the synopsis match up with the book, and why? Was the overall plot intriguing, and why? Were there any technical issues, and where? Did you find grammar or spelling errors? If so, which page? Was each character fully developed, and why? Does the book tie in neatly to the overall series, and why? And if you were to rate this book today, how many stars would you give it, and why? That is probably the most important question. I also add on the question of, what did you like? What did you hate? and what would you change and why? That really gives me a good overall view on what people are thinking about the book. And let me tell you this, every beta reader is going to give you a different answer, okay? Here's how you know when something's severely wrong with your book, if they're all telling you the same thing. Final edits. So once you get your red lines back, meaning your edits back from the editor, you can use your beta reader's notes to make any necessary changes, okay? I'm always asked, well, how do you know what to keep and what not to keep based on everybody's feedback, right? So I choose the feedback that I'm going to use based on if it's going to compromise the integrity of my vision for the book. I'll give you an example. Queens of Beasts. One of my beta readers said, the girls are too wild. They don't act like queens. They're damn near feral. I did not take that advice to change it because that's what I was looking for. I wanted wild queens out here who were chopping off heads and plucking out eyes. Okay. That's what I wanted for my girls in my book. So one thing that you will realize really quickly in the industry and that you have to just accept is that everybody is basing their critique on their opinion. So somebody's going to like it, someone's not going to like it. People are going to love your writing style, people are going to hate the writing style. You have to accept that. You have to ask yourself, is what they're telling me going to make the book better, or is it going to change the overall vision that I have for my series? If it's the latter, I will just ignore it. During this time, you want to promote your release day events. You want to be posting engaging graphics, and you're going to be online constantly. I'll be doing pre-release contests. I'll be doing advanced reader copy contests, tiered promo, tiered advertising, and I'll be really into my newsletter. So month 4 is all about the release of the book. We're going to do a final read-through and proofread, final upload, social media, and marketing plan. So before you upload the book, you need to make sure that it is as perfect as it's going to get, because you won't be able to make any changes until the day after the release once your upload period is over. We'll get more on that later. Get a proofreader to go through it. While the proofreader is reading the book, please do not read the book. I used to proofread and I used to hate it because I would be in the middle of proofreading the book and the author's over there reading the same thing. So they'll make changes and then try to send me an updated copy in the middle of my proofreading. That doesn't work for me. You are making that person start all the way over. So make sure that you are giving your mind and your eyes a break. Go work on something else. Go read books. Go spend time with your family. Go touch grass. Do whatever it is besides reading that flipping book. So when it comes back to you, you can read it one last time with fresh eyes. Your final upload. So depending on your relationship with Amazon, you're going to have anywhere between 3 to 14 days before the release date to upload the final versions of everything. And when I say final versions of everything, I mean everything, including the pricing. You cannot make any changes after that period, okay, until the day after your book comes out. So make sure you are uploading the final version of your manuscript at least twice a month. I see people online crying, making posts, talking about, oh, I'm so sorry. I uploaded the wrong version of the book. You guys will get the real version tomorrow. Okay, that kind of ruins the rollout of your book. So make sure it's the final version. Excuse me. Please upload the final version of your cover. Again, I see people all the time online saying, oh, this is the wrong cover. I'm so sorry. The real one will be uploaded tomorrow. And the cover has a big watermark from the designer on there. Please make sure you are putting up the right version. Go through your synopsis and make sure that it is perfect. One reason a lot of books don't do as well as they could is because the synopsis sucks, all right? Double check your keywords and genres. Did Amazon upload them correctly? If not, you might have to call if you're unable to make the changes. Give them a call, email them, see if they can help you out, okay? They are very friendly over there at the Amazon. I have never had a problem with their customer service. They are always willing to help. And then make sure you are uploading your final price. Sometimes what I'll do is during my pre-order period, I will make the price lower than the actual sale price when it comes out. So in my pre-order period, I will make the book, $2.99. But when I'm doing my final upload, I'm going to raise that price to $5.99. It gives people an incentive to go ahead and purchase the book at $2.99 before the book even comes out, so they get the discounted rate. But make sure you are changing that if you are doing one of those kind of promos, because you want to make sure that you are getting all your monies. Social media, we need to be online, baby. Okay, we need to be boosting posts, making videos of you talking about the book, maybe reading the excerpt from it. You want to have reviews from the ARC reviewers all on the social media. Your release day event should be heavily promoted. The majority of your ads are going to be during this time. All right. So you want to have more pre-release contests. You want to have all those media interviews that you schedule back in month 2. You want to see if they can put it out during this time. And then your newsletter should be a very big priority. I'm talking about weekly newsletters. So a few things you should know. This strategy is for those that procrastinate, like myself, or want a more consistent release schedule, or want to write the trend. This is for you. This timeline can be manipulated, okay? You can stretch it out, you can shrink it down, whatever you need to do based on what you're writing, your word count, how fast you write, and your deadline. It is important to create a checklist of all these things that you need to do in order to stay on time. And you want to create a team around you that not only moves quickly, but is great at constructive criticism. If your outline and your marketing plan suck, this isn't going to work. You're going to have a mediocre book with a mediocre rollout and not much return on investment. It is important that you become proficient in self-editing. This is going to save you time with your editor. Authors that I know that are releasing 4 to 12 books a year are using this strategy or something similar to it. Usually during month 3 of the current book, they'll begin month 1 of the next book. The outlining process will be so much easier when you're doing a series, because your first book is your foundation. So you're going to have all the characters and all the locations, and you're going to be using those in your second, third, and fourth book. Usually the first book in a series for me takes me a couple of days to go ahead and outline. Then the second book will take me about a day, third book, a couple of hours, and so on and so forth. So by the time I get to book 6, I'm more like an hour and a half, 2 hours, getting that whole thing outlined, because I'm using a lot of the same locations and characters from the first several books. When it comes to marketing, you want to find promoters that have a quick turnaround, okay? Find promoters that have, like I said, newsletters that you can tell are going to be engaging and get a lot of responses and clicks. They usually put that information on their websites. If you plan on applying for BookBub, because BookBub is not an automatic thing, you have to apply. You want to do that as soon as you are done editing. When using pre-made covers, find someone who is not using the same stock photos as everybody else. Also, you need to find someone that is not using AI. Amazon and I believe Barnes & Noble are really cracking down on AI covers. I believe the process now is that they just remove your book until you change the cover, but don't quote me on that. But I know that they put out some information a couple of weeks ago saying that they were cracking down on AI covers and also AI generated books. So if you are the type of person just to have AI write your book, it's not going to fly on Amazon. They're going to take it right down. Okay. So write your own book and find somebody who's really going to design a cover. This process works. It works for me. Okay. I've used it since late 2018, and each of my books that I have put out since then in those 5 years has gone number 1. Before we go, if you are interested in writing, marketing, and publishing in 4 months or less, but need help, I have partnered with DLM and Black Writers Weekend to offer a 4-month workshop. I usually do this workshop every other year. So I'm super excited to bring it back for this year. We're going to be starting it up here in a few months. So if you want the discount, because there is a discount code, please check your emails. Everybody who has signed up for the Delphine Legacy Media newsletter will have received that discount code, and you can go ahead and sign up for the class. Space is limited. I believe we are at half capacity right now, so you definitely want to make sure that you are signed up for the class. And if you want to connect with me, you can go ahead and find me on Instagram at Phoenix Williams Books and Twitter at Phoenix_William, no S on the end because somebody already took that name. If you're looking for me on Facebook, you're not going to find me because I don't talk to my auntie and my dad on Facebook. Okay. So if you reach out to me, I'm not going to answer back. But if you do reach out to me on IG or Twitter, I will definitely do my best to respond in a timely manner. I hope you guys all learned something valuable with this class today, and I look forward to seeing you in the workshop.
In a world where creativity meets the digital age, one agency stands out from the rest. Welcome to Delphine Legacy Media. We are a team of passionate experts and creatives dedicated to elevating your brand to new heights.
I learned so much today. It was really inspiring hearing everyone speak about all their different experiences and getting together like authors and screenwriters. And I learned a lot from this.
Their creativity and expertise are second to none. But what sets us apart? We tailor our services to fit your unique needs. Whether you're an author, a business owner, or an artist, our services include interviews, media tours, book tours, and speaking engagements, all designed to put your brand in the spotlight. Are you an artist that seeks to obtain more media, headline your own book tour, or adapt a film? Or perhaps you need media training to best prepare yourself. Whatever it may be, we can manage it. Picture your brand in the limelight. Picture your brand in the limelight. Your vision realized. At Delphine Legacy Media, we're partners in your success. Ready to take your brand to the next level? Contact us today. Delphine Legacy Media, where creativity meets success.